All right, episode 3 of season 2. It starts with Ash lamenting the passing and the loss of his beautiful baby Delta. He has this whole moment where he's just sitting there reminiscing and just absolutely crushed by losing this old piece of shit car. But man, it's his chair, you know, and one man's trash is another man's treasure. That has never been more true than with this opening sequence. Ash really does love that damn car more than he seems to love people that he's known in his life, because he doesn't seem to struggle with their loss as much as he does this damn car, which he's still making payments on, remember? He doesn't even have this damn thing paid off after like 30 years of ownership. I love it. I don't know how many times he had to refinance for that to happen. He's on like a 30-year loan. It's a house all of a sudden. He's probably lived in it a while, so maybe it is a house. So there's these kids. They steal it, obviously, and this girl's in the back seat, this cute-ass chick, and she reads from the book and then bites this guy's dick off. He wanted it. He wanted it bad. So, you know, be careful what you wish for. You might just get it. Ted Raimi plays a substantial character in this episode, the next episode, the next episode. So cool to see him in here. And it's also hilarious that the bar that he works for is called Shemp's. How perfect is that? They have a drink called a Pink Fuck, which is just laced with ketamine, which is pretty funny. And then you have a demon car. How cool is this? You think when Evil Dead has given you everything that you could have seen, it's got demon this and all these crazy ideas and whatnot, the car, the Delta, is possessed by the Necronomicon and goes around and becomes like a Christine of sorts and is going out and killing people. And the deaths are pretty cool. I like the way the car looks. It's got like red lights coming out of it, flames coming out of it. And this poor girl, this poor freaking girl has to ride around in the front seat of this car and watch as her friends are mowed over. Horrible, man. Just so sad that this girl has to witness it all from inside the vehicle of devastation. It's terrible. It's like having to sit inside a killer as he's murdering your friends in front of you, and they have to almost look at you like, I'm not driving the car, like trying, you know. It's kind of sad. But one of the deaths, the hubcap death, the car like goes and flips and it lets the hubcap come off and it cuts the freaking kid up, and then it comes back like a boomerang back onto the car. That was pretty damn cool. I could watch an entire movie with this kind of killer car to it. You got like that super hybrid movie. There's been a bunch of killer car movies, obviously, with like Killdozer and Maximum Overdrive. I watched a freaking a slew of them once upon a time. But I like the way this one does it. It's a little more ridiculous, and I had a good time with it. And then you have the tire to the face. It comes down and it just starts like, you know, freaking ripping the face away as it's spinning, much like the one in Death Proof or the one in Saw 7 or Saw freaking the final chapter, whatever you want to call it, where the tire comes down on the face and just rips it apart. Every time I've ever seen that in a movie, it's badass. The 3 times that I can think of off the top of my head are badass. Although I guess one of those I didn't think of off the top of my head since it's in this episode, but the other 2, just kick-ass. And then we find out why the dad is mad, because we almost forget about Cheryl in a way. Like, that's Ash's sister. She was with him when this all happened, and Ash did lose his sister, which shows that the continuity for this show does address events of Evil Dead 2 and Evil Dead 1, because Cheryl is in 1, not 2. So Cheryl is brought up here. So Evil Dead 1 is absolutely addressed. But yeah, so Ash's sister, Cheryl, is brought up here, and that is why he's mad. And it's like, you killed my baby. And it's like, oh shit. Like when he says it, you're like, oh shit, that's right. Ash is thought to, you know, killed all these kids, and one of them being his baby girl, like my little baby girl I have right now. Imagine if, you know, her sister killed her. I don't know how the fuck I would deal with that. But yeah, it hit me like, oh shit, that's right, Cheryl's death. Yikes. No wonder he's mad at him. And then Ash sees that the girl that his dad wins from him in the bull riding thing or whatever is a deadite. And instead of going to save him, he just goes to get a drink like, fuck you, Dad. Oh, that was pretty funny. And Pablo comes over and kind of slaps him out of it. And then Ash goes off, cuts her head out of the toilet. And then he comes out with the head trying to prove to everyone, like, I'm not Ashy Slashy. And he comes out with a fucking head in his hands. Hilarious. And then the dad actually realizes that he was not lying, that he actually has the moment where with his dad there. And he runs outside and the dad gets hammered by this car. And freaking his head and his brains, it's so graphic, it's so gory, it's so gnarly, and it's so awesome. I'm so glad this show exists in its full R-rated splendor. Let's move on.